Hi, welcome to Get Ready for Your Audition Part 3, Quarantine Auditioning. This one is covering the information on the handout that says how to pick your prepared piece for audition. And so let's get started. Most auditions have a section called Prepared Piece. And I find that this is the one that trips students up the most because you're just not used to picking out your own music. Usually you just get it from one of your directors and away you go. So this is my attempt to help you pick wisely when you pick out your music. You're going to keep in mind that your prepared piece section, at least for our audition, is going to be short. We do not want to listen to an entire sonata or a symphony. We just need a good idea of how you play, okay? The first rule is to pick a piece that is in the style of the music the ensemble you're trying to get into plays. Okay? So if you're trying to earn the lead trumpet seat in the jazz band, don't play a classical piece. If you're trying to get into the symphony, don't play the jazz band stuff, right? So advanced band is a classically based ensemble. So your pieces need to be classically based. Yes, they do some other stuff. They do some pop tunes once in a while. They do some movie themes. But mostly what they do is classical stuff. So I call it legit music. It's not like the other music isn't real music, but it's just an old term. Okay? So try to stay away from the latest pop or Disney tune that you just love to death. It's usually not what we want to hear. And it's not usually very challenging of a piece, so it doesn't show off your skills. An exception to that, I guess, is if you're auditioning for Disneyland, then maybe do that, but do it really well. Okay, on to number 2. Pick excerpts that are in contrasting styles and that highlight your skill. This is really important. It's very nice to be able to know that you are a well-rounded musician and can do more than one thing. So instead of playing one really long song that's all in one style, pick 2 short excerpts of something, maybe 8 to 16 measures of each. One of them should be kind of a fast, light, technical thing with some articulations and maybe some fast fingerings or something that shows your technical skill. And the other one should be a more lyrical, beautiful, slower maybe, you know what I mean. Right? Something that shows off your whole kit and caboodle of things that you are able to do. Something that's really important is you need to figure out what your strength is as a musician and then pick a piece that highlights that and shows that off. If you have a really lovely tone, pick something that shows off that really lovely tone. If you are horrible at super high notes, don't pick a song that has a bunch of really high notes because that's not going to show off what you can do. It's going to show us where you still need to work. If you know that your low B flat always comes out like the third time you play it but not the first 2, don't play that one. Pick something else, right? This is your chance to really stack the deck in your favor. Pick something that you can play really well and that you like, because you're going to be playing it for a while, getting it ready. So pick something that you enjoy playing. Third one, have extra copies of your music for the adjudicators. For our group, this isn't super required. It's really nice. I personally really like it if I can follow along. And I find that if I stand behind the person auditioning, that makes them super nervous. Oh no! So I don't have everything memorized that you might play. So it's really helpful for me as a visual learner to be able to see it. And for our group, a photocopy is just fine. There are some groups that you audition for that require original copies. And so keep that in mind and really read the requirements if you're going someplace else. But for us, a photocopy is just fine. If you're playing an excerpt on it, mark where you're going to start and where you're going to end so we don't have to guess. 4th, do some study and or research on your piece. You do not have to do a term paper on your piece, but you should know something about it, like how to pronounce the composer's name. If it says Boré and you go Burry, we're going to know that you haven't done any kind of Googling at all, right? We don't expect you to have a perfect French accent or anything crazy like that, but know something. Was it originally written for harpsichord? That's helpful information for you as a performer, and it shows us, if we were to ask you about something, that you did a little bit of extra work. We may not have time to ask you about anything, but that knowledge will still have helped you prepare, because if it was originally written for a harpsichord, you need to kind of think about how they would articulate something. So, again, not a whole term paper, don't get crazy with your research unless you just want to, but know something about it, at least how to pronounce it. Ugh, hornet. Number 5, once you have your songs picked out, study them well and prepare as much as possible. I cannot tell you this enough. You have to be prepared. Mark up your music. You now have to be your teacher and the performer, because you have to play it and go, oh, I didn't do well there, and figure out how to do better there. I can help you if you ask for my help before your audition time, like during this time when you're getting ready. I will be happy to help you. But you really need to study it, and this is your chance to play it the best piece you've ever played. Okay? Consider hiring someone to help you. It's not super important for our group that you hire somebody, but even asking an older student to come a couple times and help you out, or listen to it over the internet, or send them a recording of it, they can give you some pointers, especially somebody that's been in advanced band already. They know kind of what we're looking for already, and so they can give you some tips that are invaluable and will really help you. It does not have to be a world-renowned private instructor to succeed. You really don't have to do that. That's really great if you can, but just get somebody else's opinion so that you're not totally on your own. The last thing that is pretty huge, actually, is where do you find your music? I always, because I'm a cheap person, usually broke, I always look for free music online first. Keep in mind that you don't need the whole song, so if you can find an excerpt online, that's completely fine with us. We don't care. Sometimes you can find it for a couple dollars, the whole piece, if you really like it and you want to try the whole thing. I used to always recommend MuseScore, but I have recently heard that they're changing some of their things for copyright infringement and whatever, so you may not have free access there. But it's still a good resource, possibly. You should check it out, musescore.com. If you can't find anything, you can consider buying something at a local music store if it was open, I don't know, or online, but try local first. Because the people in those music stores know kind of what we're looking for also, and they can help steer you to something that's great. Private lesson teachers can help you, and you can ask Mrs. Graham or I. We have lots of music as we just kind of accumulate it through our lives. So we will help you. This process does take some time to go through. So if you start the day before your audition, you will not be ready. So this is your warning. Get started on this part now, because it's sometimes the hardest part of it. All right. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, see you next time.